Hey guys, if you're enjoying the podcast and getting good snippets and information and education from it, that's fantastic. Also, check out my brand, neverhome.com. I'm very passionate about this. I've had this brand since 2014, and my mission is to provide really good activewear for people like yourself who train and go to the gym. Thank you very much, and check out www.neverhome.com. Guys, we're back for another podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Scott Slayman, also known as the Mechanic and Mr. Big Python Arms. I would love to have arms like him one day. And myself, John Gorman. My alias is Johnny Qna. And Scott is an online coach. He's my coach and one of my best friends. He's also my training partner. He's got kissed from God above. I got so lucky with that. And I'm a real estate agent, and I have an activewear brand called Neverhome. I've just partnered up with a gentleman called Harry, who was a silent partner. I've just told everyone he's my partner to get more money out of him. And I really wanted to put on the map to tell people that I'm taking this really seriously. And it's going great. So we're opening up a store, we're doing new things, and we're driving the brand really hard. But what's important for me and Scott is providing content to help you with your fitness or bodybuilding or life missions and goals that you're trying to achieve. So we don't know it all, but Scotty knows a fair bit, and I've had a fair few mistakes in my life. So hopefully we can share that with you, and you can get some good inspiration and knowledge from what we know. So, Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. So yeah, we're hopefully able to answer some questions for you today and give you some insights and tell you a little bit about what we're doing. By the way, Johnny, when are the new shorts coming?
Oh, okay, yes. Great question. So by the time this gets released, we should have the shorts about to drop, which is next Thursday, which will be Thursday the 23rd of May. And they're dropping next Thursday.
Fantastic.
So it's been a long time in the making, but these are our best-selling product.
And you've made some improvements.
And we made some improvements. So these are the new shorts. I'm wearing them now in navy blue. We got them in grey. We got them in green. I was thinking of names for the shorts too. So we called one of them, we got a maroon. We've called it, I think it's Spartan Maroon.
Okay.
I got that from like the game Halo, like the red Halo suits they wore.
Awesome.
So why these are better was because, well, obviously I had really good shorts, but I wanted to always improve my products. So these here, there was one issue that I had with my last shorts. Aiden, you'll like this too. The drawstring on the shorts, they'd fall out in the wash. So you put them through the washing machine and the drawstring would actually come out just from being thrown around so much,
and then
or in the dryer. Said to myself, this is really annoying. Such good shorts, but if you have to thread it back through, it's about 5 minutes every day you're never going to get back. So I spoke to the manufacturers and we came up with a solution. And we've stitched them in at the back right here. So if you look closely, you probably can't see it. There's a little bit of stitching on each side of the shorts. So they've hand-stitched every single pair of our new shorts, the drawstring right in the dead center. So no matter how hard you pull, you probably pull it. I don't think you could. If you pull it really hard, they don't come out.
Solid.
And that will save you a lot of time. So it's constant and never-ending improvement with our physiques, with our mindset, and of course with the clothes. We have all these new oversized shirts coming in too. So the last batch of oversized I did weren't oversized enough, so I made them more oversized.
I'm keen.
And this is a new style I got coming out. There's a lot of new things. Finally, it's all about to drop. It's been so many hours of work behind the scenes, but it's been very rewarding. So I hope you guys like it. And if you want to see any products too or improvements on things, just maybe email me at orders@neverhome.com or johnny@neverhome.com. That's the best way to get me. And I'll get back to you there because honestly, my DMs on Instagram, it sounds silly. I struggle to keep up with them sometimes because I'm doing so many things. I don't get that many, but sometimes they sort of pile up. But thanks for letting me plug the clothes, Scotty boy. Appreciate it.
They're great. I'm looking forward to those oversized shirts myself. Can't wait.
Yes, you got to look good in those. And I made the singlets a little bit, you know, the black and white pipe ones?
Yes.
I brought them out in navy blue. They arrive in a couple,
Oh, fantastic.
They finished 3 days ago. So by the time they shipped here, might be here in a week. So yeah, they were really good singlet I made. So let's get to the questions. Enough about the brand. How do you find motivation for leg day? It's been 2 years. So this person hasn't trained legs for 2 years.
All right.
It's
Well,
a long time.
how important is it to you for that matter? It may not be somebody's main priority is to have big legs. That might not be a big factor. but you've got to want it bad enough.
You do.
That's the first
You have
of
to
all.
want it bad for legs, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a mental challenge that takes you to another level. It's not easy, but the legs respond pretty well if you put the work in. No question about it.
Well, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah.
You're actually over 50 now. I hope you don't mind me saying.
Nah, I'm proud of it.
Your legs have improved.
Yeah.
We were with Kane the other day and we're talking about it. We did a great session with Kane. Great guy, lovely guy. And we're talking about your legs have improved. And you know, people say your legs fall off as you get older. Maybe the intensity falls off, but your intensity, is that why? Or
I think
bit of
there's two things. One is I learned how to train smarter.
Yeah.
Right? I still train hard,
Very hard.
but there's
Scary hard.
a combination of
Yesterday
training
you
hard
scared me.
and
Yesterday you
more
scared me.
intelligent. You know, so I think I wish I would have known then what I know now, because I probably could have been even better in my competitive years. But now I can apply what I know
And teach others.
not only to myself, but also teach others. And the other thing is, I still love the intensity. I don't go in and half-ass it. I go in and give it everything I got. Because for me, I like that to be the hardest part of my day. So everything else pales in comparison. Whatever's going on at home, whatever's going on, you know, whatever stresses are happening.
He scared me yesterday, guys. We did legs early at Muscle City early yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Because it's the closest gym to us, so I didn't have a lot of time. So you came there, and you trained fasted, no pre-workout, no intra, nothing, and it's the strongest I've ever seen you.
Yeah, I'm such a big advocate of intra-workout carbs.
Yeah, you had nothing. Did you even have water?
I ran out. I probably had about 20 grams in there, you know, some coconut water, some electrolytes, so it was hydrated.
Yeah.
But there was nothing else. I didn't have any pre-workout, didn't have any caffeine in my system. But
how'd you find, so this person wants to know how to find the motivation. So 2 years you haven't done something's stopping you from doing that.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is maybe there's a lot of factors. Maybe you're insecure. You've got such small legs that you don't want to go in the gym and be seen doing such little weight. I understand that. I've been there before. Maybe you don't know what to do, or it's not that hard. You just got to do a leg press. Really, you can start with a leg press, or even.
yeah. You know what I would do in this case?
What would you do?
Because if you're thinking about a designated leg day and it's overwhelming you, yeah, fair enough, understandable. So I would probably tack on legs, a little bit of legs to some other body parts. Let's say you're doing, let's say you're doing a chest workout, right? Like start and do it at the beginning so you don't fluff it off at the end. Do it at the beginning. Start your push day, your fun chest workout.
Push day is always
start with some leg extensions, right?
Hard. Yeah,
you know, and then next week, try to go a little heavier on the extensions. Then the week after, add a leg press, you know, and then it becomes kind of like a push and a bit of quads. And then on your pull day, on your back day, throw a little bit of hamstrings in. You know, your RDL's going to hit your whole posterior chain. It's going to hit your hamstrings, your erectors, your glutes. So that's going to work your traps, everything. So throw those RDLs, those hip hinges in with your back day. And then maybe add a lying leg curl. Do that at the beginning when you're fresh, before you think, oh no, I'll do it next week. Do the lying leg curls at the beginning, your hip hinge at some stage in there. And before you know it, you're doing a full-on leg workouts within those 2 days without having the overwhelming thought of going in and just doing legs.
One massive leg day. Really good advice. I like that. I was going to say somehow maybe what could work is if you have the capability of making friends or have friends that train, try and tag along to another friend's leg day who you have a good relationship with.
Yeah.
And say, hey, can I tag along and just do a couple exercises with you? Just the mental thought of going and doing legs, like you'll let yourself down, most people, but they won't let someone else down usually.
Yeah.
You know, if you commit to, I will never let you down into a session unless there's some dire straight. I'm there. Anything else can wait. And same as you. We don't let each other down. Sometimes I don't really want to train legs. Like I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Most of the time I do, but there's been days where I'm like, oh, legs today, I'm a bit tired. I won't let Scotty down. I do it. And once I'm there, we always have a good leg workout. Unless I've got a little tendon issue or something. But maybe you might want to tag along with a friend. Maybe you could, if you're too insecure or something's going on, do something different. Just go at 11 p.m. Don't take a pre-workout. Get into one of those 24/7 gyms. Cover up. Put some music on and just do 3 or 4 exercises. Just some light stuff just to get moving again. Just move the body. I think you got to get the mental.
You don't have to go in and do everything all at once.
No.
That's why I suggest just do one little thing at a time and then progress on that. Just one little thing at a time. Because if it's been 2 years, you're not going to want to just go in and do the all-out session that you're not going to recover from. So just slowly build from that.
And if you go in too hard after taking a big break, you're going to be sore for 5 to 10 days. It's really going to be hard. Just go and do a little bit. Come back, go again, and you got to build that routine. Once you build that routine and those habits, habits will stick after 27 days, they say. So it's really pushing yourself. Otherwise, you're just never going to have legs, and don't worry about it. You don't need to.
Fine.
There's bigger things in life than having big legs. Here's the next question regarding legs. How to grow juicy quads. Is it volume? Is it frequency? Is it progressive overload? Or what methods work for you?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the secret, right? There is no secret. It's boring. It's consistency. So we go in, we don't, have these fancy workouts. Like I said, they noticed my legs are better than they were. And I used to do these massive, giant sets, this Milo Sarchev style, they were mentally taxing, but were they really that effective for muscle growth? I don't know. Now it's the same things, about once every 5 days. We're finding that's what we're able to recover from. We've tried more frequently.
No.
The recovery is quite not there. We've tried a little less frequent, like once a week. We could probably go a little bit more frequent. So we figured out a sweet spot of where we're both able to recover from.
5 days.
Yep, that's for us, right? That's what we found.
I don't think I could train 4 days.
And then we found, just going in, doing a little bit more, whether it be an extra rep, an extra 10 kilos, whatever, 5 kilos, whatever it might be, just progressing on that, just over time. And it's boring, but if you just do it long enough, before you know it,
it happens.
It happens.
Do you remember when I went to Queensland for a real estate expo, and I was there for like 5 or 7 days. I was tracking my squats. You might not remember, but this is like years ago.
Yeah.
You were coaching me, and you always were. But I did squats, and I did one set of squats on one day. Then 2 days later, I thought I'll squat again. And I said, Scotty, I didn't get stronger. And he said, well, you just haven't recovered.
Yeah.
You went so hard, you didn't recover. I'm like, oh, it's going to take me longer than 2 days to recover. That's what I really learned. I need more time to recover on legs. I really do push myself quite hard on legs. That 5 days is the sweet spot.
And that's a great gauge of how you are going.
Yeah.
So if you're not recovering, if you aren't getting stronger, then you look at, okay, are you going
because my food
too
was in check.
often?
Everything was in check. Sleep.
Yeah.
But
are you doing too much volume? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating enough? And those are the kind of things that we look at. And then if you are able to progress, and that you've hit that sweet spot. If you're not, then you need to address what's happening.
I'm going to touch on this again. So I watch people's form in the gym.
Yeah.
And guys lift a lot heavier than me on legs. But like I see a lot of guys doing like 5-7 plate hack squats. My legs destroy their legs. Not just I've got much bigger legs and better legs than these guys, but they're lifting much heavier than me. So why do my legs look better than people lifting much heavier than me? I say to myself, I look at their form. So they're dropping the weight in, they're just dropping it in and bouncing it up. And they're throwing it around.
Momentum.
If you watch when Scott trains, he forces me to control it down, pause, not in the bottom of the rep. I'm not sitting in the bottom of the hack squat. I'm stopping it just before actually making the muscle stop and then driving it up and squeezing it up. And I'm making it a piston, moving it down like this, nonstop. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, how long can I suffer for? But there's I don't care about the reps. I'm looking for when the pain's there. Because that for me is when my body's going to have to adapt because it's saying, shit, this is crazy. That's what I'm going for.
And the studies have shown that mechanical tension is the driver for muscle growth. And what you're experiencing there is not momentum, is not bouncing, is not, it's creating enough mechanical tension in the muscle for those adaptations to happen. And that's the other reason why my legs have probably improved as well, is not only have I trained smarter, but my form and technique is probably better than it used to be. I can guarantee you.
The body doesn't know what, you've got to I just say to myself, I've got to put it under so much pressure in a certain way to make me come back and adapt to that extreme pressure. Yeah. Do you remember that guy we trained with we didn't train with him, but we're at Into Performance last week and we're on the pendulum squat.
Yeah.
And we took him through one set. We dropped the weight and we said, okay, go into the pendulum squat. It was only 30 kilos. Stop before you get to the bottom.
Yep.
Then do a half rep, stop, come back down and a full rep. You only got about 4 reps. So you go,
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone. He was doing triple the weight before that and bouncing up and down, thinking this is good. I'm so strong, but his legs just aren't there.
Yeah.
He's not activating his quads properly.
And when I say progressive
Does
overload,
that make sense?
yeah, when I talk about progressive overload from week to week, it's the key factor is that you're not sacrificing your form for more weight or more reps.
Correct.
If you're able to get progression by doing the same form or progression by cleaning up your form, and that might mean dropping the weight back a little bit and doing better form. That's still progressive overload because you're creating more tension in the muscle.
And it all just comes back down to the ego us men have in the gym. Once you take that ego out, your bodybuilding, because we're bodybuilders, if you're going for strength powerlifting, it's completely different. I don't really care how much I lift. I still want to lift a good amount of weight, but I want my body to look good.
Yep.
I want to be, I don't want to injure myself and tear up my tendons and tear up my quads and hips. So I want to do it with really good form. Then at the end, if I need to throw out a few couple reps, I might do that, but it's very, very rare that I do that. I'll just drop the weight. I hope that answers your question. That's definitely how I see it anyway. We're only 2 questions in. I'm actually keen to understand so I can pick my coach for the next time if I decide I want one. How do I know if my coach is a good fit for me or not? What makes a good coach?
Okay, so there's several things. One is experience. Some years in the game definitely makes and being able to show that they've gotten people in shape.
That's why I went to you.
Seeing results.
That's the only reason I went to you. I saw your results.
Yeah, and being able to show that they've done it themselves. I like the coaches that can practice what they preach. They don't have to be in crazy good shape, but they can show that they can get in shape themselves. And then also communication's key. So you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you can't communicate that and you can't, and every client might work a little bit differently on their level of communication. Some people do really well with spreadsheets. Some people do well with, phone calls. Some people do well with, it could be a number of different modalities. And this is why even with my coaching, it's not all the same for every single person. I do try to adapt based on what a person needs. And then there's other factors that come into play too as well. So it's not just about the hard facts of calories and training and coach and planning, but there's also life that comes into play. There's stress that comes into play. There's relationship things.
We're humans.
We're humans. So the empathy needs to happen. So a person needs to understand when those things come up and how to adapt training and stress and work on those type of things as a whole, not just, like if somebody's going through some major, they lost their job, this, that, and the other, a coach has to understand, okay, well, training might be a little bit off, sleep's off, whatever might be happening, what needs to happen with a program. It might take a phone call. It might be just listening to a person on what's happening. So I would recommend also talking, with a prospective coach, have a conversation with them, get on the phone, get on a video call and talk to them and tell them about different scenarios. What would you do if I was in this scenario, right? Like, how would you handle this? And put them in the spot. Say, if I was dealing with this, what would you do for me, right? And I also look at this as a collaboration. So when a client comes to me, it's not me just saying, hey, just do this, this, and this. They might have worked with other coaches before, and some things might have been great, some things might not, and success leaves clues. So I like to listen to see what does work well for them and adapt that and what they enjoy too as well. So they're going to want to see better results, or they're going to want to stick with the program a lot longer if they're actually enjoying what they're doing, not just, they might not be super, super optimal, but they're going to get better results if they actually enjoy it.
You have to enjoy it. Great answer. I've had a lot of coaches before you.
Yeah.
I had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 proper coach, 3, and then I've trained with a lot of people. And one of my first coaches I had when I started getting a coach when I was 18.
I know.
I was just obsessed to learn, right? So I had this guy called Christian Woodford. He's still around.
Yeah, yeah.
He's my first coach, yeah?
I coached him at the,
You coached him,
the
right?
nutritional aspects. Yeah.
So Christian would meet me at Fitness First, Brighton, like 7 a.m. He'd take me through a leg workout, brutal. And one thing I still remember to this day that I loved about Christian was he would text me after the workout and go, fucking great workout.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, man. I felt so good. I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
I'm spending my money on, $50 for a workout. It's a big money back then.
Of course.
And I felt so good that he had belief in me.
Yeah.
And then that happened again with another coach of mine, said the same thing. And then when I went to you, before you started coaching me, I said to you, you probably won't remember, I met you, I think at a Lisa's shop. It was somewhere and I saw you. I was just trying to get to know you. And then I said to you, hey, I'm trying to build up these triceps. I can't get this tricep. And you go, yeah, I can sort it. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's so good. I was like, yes, this is great. When you said that to me, that was the main reason I really want to work with you, because you're so confident that you could build up I really struggled with my tricep growth. Now my triceps are, I think they're nearly a strong point, but you gave me the confidence that I could achieve my goal. You did that for me. And then when we started properly getting to coaching, you just worked with the way I did things. And I didn't want to, I struggled to get onto chronometer early. And you said, Johnny, just give it a go. Just give it a go, give it a go. Then when you taught me chronometer, because I wasn't too good with tracking food, I just would follow a meal plan.
Yeah.
Or I intuitively ate my whole life after I kind of learned. I just look at myself and I just do more cardio to get lean or just stop. That's all I did, right? Just common sense. But you taught me, you worked with my emotions almost, and you're very empathetic. Even when I screwed you over the first times and I was supposed to train with him the first time, had a big night on the gear and I did a no-show. Yeah. And and I fucking felt so bad. Mean spoke to me, came back, gave me another chance. I wasn't going to let you down from there. But you just you had faith in me, and I'm a bit older now, I don't need it. But when I was younger, I needed someone to believe in me. I needed someone to say, you can do this. Give me some confidence, because then if someone else had confidence in me, that gave me a lot of drive to achieve more things. So now like Harry's believes in me with the brand, I'm so confident because I've got a big backer now. Like I really can't fail unless God takes it away from me. I get a big ego. So I think that's what I think is good in a coach, is like the relationship with on a personal caring level, not just here's your macros. Hey, like, how you going? How's things? How's life with you? You check, how's things going? How's Neverhome going? Hey, how's the shirts going? Nothing to do with fucking the coaching. I think that's important. That's why I'm never we'll always work together. Yeah. It's just because you care about me.
Yeah. And if people are seeing results.
Oh, I'm getting results. And the results,
that's a big factor too as well.
Absolutely. So, and I saw the results you had with others. Yeah. And I said to myself, oh, geez, I wouldn't mind. Maybe I can go to that next level. Yeah. And now I'm just getting better. So anyway, that's my advice on what I would see if you're looking for a coach. See if you can have a chat to them and see if you get along with them.
100%, yeah.
Because they've got an agenda.
There's people that I've turned away. I've just gone, you know what, this is not a good fit. Or I've just felt like
clients,
there might be somebody better for them, but that's not every coach is for every client and vice versa. So.
Well, how many females have come to me for coaching and they wanted to go to you and you've referred them to someone else because you just don't?
I don't coach females,
I coach them. Very good answer there. So tips or advice for someone struggling with the battle in their head about progress?
Okay. So first of all, this is another question, do they have a coach that's monitoring their progress? Are they actually making progress, or are they just being hard on themselves? Are they comparing themselves to what they see on social media? When you see, guys on social media, throwing in extreme transformations and then these filtered, even Photoshop after pictures in a very short period of time. This isn't reality, right? And somebody's waking up, they look at themselves in the mirror, they're having a little off day. Why isn't that happening to me? What's going on? And they really beat themselves up. So first of all, don't compare yourself to somebody you see on social media as far as progress is concerned. It's not realistic. It's just a highlight reel anyway. And there are some people that make some dramatic progress, but look, break it down to see what are you progressing on now, whatever that might be at the time. So make sure you have a clear, specific goal. That's first and foremost. If you're
Clear goal.
toggling between goals, yeah, I want to grow, I want to get big. Oh no, I want to get lean. All right, and you kind of toggle every week in changing and changing your goals. You're never really going to get there. So make sure there's a clear, specific goal, and whatever that might be, meticulously track every variable that you possibly can. So if it's to put on muscle tissue, all right, just wait. You don't see that come on, even in the weekly check-in pictures. You're not going to see, like let's say somebody's lucky enough to put on 100 grams of muscle tissue in a week. You're not going to necessarily see that in a photo, right? Yeah. Especially if you're in off season, super, super lean.
No.
But what's happening in the gym? Are you getting an extra rep?
Are you getting stronger?
Are you getting stronger? And track all those things. If you're trying to get lean, sometimes pictures, you're not going to see necessarily a whole lot of results from week to week. What's happening after 3 or 4 weeks? Be patient with this. Look and see, maybe get a DEXA scan and see what is actually happening in your body composition, and, or get a coach to actually monitor every possible scenario for you and every biometric they possibly can to make sure that you are making progress. And if you're not, where's the missing link? Is it sleep? Is it food? Is it training? What needs to improve to making sure you are, and reward yourself to, pat yourself on the back when you are making those little bits of progress. Okay, cool. And you're not going to necessarily see, weight increases on the bar every single week. You might be 2-3 weeks, nothing. And then all of a sudden you might see, wow, I got an extra 2-3 reps.
Just have an off day as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Off days happen.
Just be patient and track it and reward yourself when you do see those. And that should be some motivation to keep going, to say, okay, wow, I made some progress. Yes, this is working. And that's going to give you the confidence to keep pushing. So,
really good answer. I like that. I would say struggling with the battle in their head about progress. Struggling with the battle. Well, maybe they're not actually making progress because they could be overdoing it or under-eating or not sleeping enough or high stress levels, shit's going on at work, at home. All those factors play with your recovery. You're not going to grow. So you might need to reassess your whole circumstances if you don't have a coach. And then if you're not making progress, like the only reason I make progress is because I've got you as my coach. And because I'm so confident that I've got you too, I don't stress out. I'm very calm. And I think just my calm nature, and I'm so happy. I'm the happiest guy with how I look. I've never been so happy with where my life's at that I think my body's in a good growing state. Absolutely. Because my hormone, I'm just feel good.
Stress is a huge, huge component, and this is going to hold people back from, if somebody's in a very high stress environment, a lot of it's due to look, sometimes there's external stressors, but some people do it to themselves. Well, every time somebody does it to themselves, it's how you react even to external stressors. Sometimes there could be nothing going on wrong. Everything could be fine, but people are just stress heads. They work themselves up into in a negative state, and they're always worried about are they doing everything right or whatever it might be. Yeah. And it affects every aspect. It affects their sleep, which will affect the recovery. It affects their digestion. It'll affect their their training performance. It'll affect their every single aspect you could possibly think of. So even for the coaching aspect, that's something that I focus on with clients as far as how is your stress levels? What needs to happen there to get you back in that state? And if somebody's in that positive environment like yourself, we were talking about this the other day, and you just said, you know what, I'm really happy with how I'm looking, how I'm really happy with content. And that comes from a place of self-love, right? And that is a beautiful thing. A lot of people, are wanting to transform their bodies because they're not happy. Right? They come from a self-hate. They go to the gym because they hate how they look. And they're like, I'm gonna work this into something I love. But yes, it helps to some degree, but you really have to change your mindset into, enjoying the process, enjoying where you're at right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is a win, and this goes back to even competing. If somebody's wanting to get on stage, what are your reasons? Like, I think competition's great. You have a real specific goal of being in the best shape of your life to show yourself what you can actually accomplish. And then you go, okay, there's my standard, right? And then you go back to compete again, like a year later, whatever, and you go, okay, I'm gonna beat that. I'm gonna improve on that, right? Those are some cool reasons, right? Like if you could continually improve, not necessarily for the external validation. So if you're constantly seeking, I have to win, yes, winning is great, and we want to go to with the purpose of winning, no question about it. But if we go with the purpose of improving, keep getting better, well, if you've got half decent genetics and you're doing all the right things, eventually you're going to win. You're going to start winning things. I emceed a PCA show the other day, and there was a VJ who got his pro card there, right? And I talked to him. I talked to him afterwards.
Is he the baker?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I talked to him
amazing.
afterwards. He was so grateful. He was like, I just got my pro card. I never thought this would happen, right? And he goes, my goal is always just to get better than I was. He goes, I just wanted to come back and make improvements. And he was, he obviously wants to win. We go for the reasons, but he just wanted to go and make improvements. And he's got a phenomenal physique, and he just kept improving every year, kept improving. And guess what? He won the overall, and he got his pro card. And that was his mentality. He wasn't bitter over the other competitors. He wasn't negative about anybody else. He just was going to improve himself. And so those are the reasons I love about bodybuilding. Those are the reasons I love about this. And it's really disheartening for me to see somebody go and they get so down on themselves and so upset if they don't place how they should or whatever. Judges were thinking this, that, or the other. Doesn't matter. Just go to be the best you possibly can and improve. And eventually you'll get rewarded.
You have to keep in mind, like, someone could be doing this consistent for 10 years and it's their time.
Yeah.
They deserve it. Yeah.
Look at Ronnie Coleman. How did he place in his first Olympia?
Prime example.
Like dead last.
I said this the other day. Ronnie Coleman, off topic, someone said to me, how do I become an influencer with Neverhome? I said, be a mini Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
Work your ass off. Be super humble. Be super inspiring, and earn your spot.
Yeah.
How many years did he not place in the Olympia, and he finally got there?
Exactly.
He finally got there. He didn't complain. And in a video, he's like, I didn't complain when I got 7th. I didn't complain when I got 6th. I didn't complain when I got 5th. I didn't complain when I got 8th.
I love that.
The point is, don't complain.
Yeah.
And he was hands down, he was the greatest bodybuilder he's
and he
ever
just did it because he loved it. He loved it. Had such a passion for it. I get chills when I think about that, because those are, that's just what I love about it, right?
I love bodybuilding.
And when you tell me that you love where you're at, man, that makes me so happy. That, to me, when somebody is really happy with where they're at, physique wise, that to me is better than any overall pro card, anything like that. Because I want somebody to be happy with their progress and achievements. And
I've won the medals in my own mind. I'm at the prize now. I've won. I really am so happy with how I look. I've done the work. I do the work every day. I don't have to go to anyone. I need this, I need that. I would love to compete eventually, but right now I've already won.
Yeah.
Especially where I came from,
100%.
where I'm at now.
When you've been at rock bottom like you have, every day's a freaking blessing.
It's a perspective thing. And I got my brand. Life's really good, so I couldn't be happier. And I really hope everyone watching can get to where I'm at right now. Every day, I really enjoy every moment I'm alive.
Yeah.
I drive in here, when I'm on the phone to you, just going through the questions. Aiden's cool. Like, we had a big thing that happened a couple of days ago. Aiden, he's on the phone to the ambulance, and like, life happens, right? We're very stressful, very unbelievable wake up call. Something happened just in the studio. We'll talk about it one day, but life's going to happen. So we're only bodybuilding. This is we just go to the gym to lift weights, and you might be doing a local show. You're trying to get to the Olympia, but at the end of the day, it's just transforming how you look. We're not brain surgeons. We're not saving lives. We're just going to the gym and working out, and we're trying to be the best version of that. You really need to enjoy the fitness journey you're on. I love this. I'm obsessed. I love it. It makes me happy. I love speaking to Scott, going, hey, should I use this creatine? What intra-workout should I use? What should I eat? And you just give me the advice, and I take it on board, and I love it. It's just what I like to do. It's my hobby that's become a big part of my life. If you can really love it, just learn to love it.
Again, going back to the question, don't compare yourself to somebody else's journey.
There's heaps of people always going to be better than all of us, I said to you before, look at Fabrizio, look at Patrick. Those guys they're a million times better than me. I don't go to myself, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a gun in my own right. I've got my own things. I'm working within what I can do, and I'm so happy. Yeah. There's going to be people richer, more successful, more better looking, more funny. Doesn't matter. Like, you got to win the competition in your own mind.
I used to struggle with this for years, you know.
Yeah,
You know, when I was competing and all this, I was, you know, I'd look at these pro bodybuilders. How come I don't look like that? Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been to the Olympia. I've presented medals on stage, and I was backstage looking at these guys, going, "Hang on, there's a genetic component to this, right? That's a massive.
If it wasn't
factor.
genetics, then how come some people are taller than others? It comes down to genetics, you know. You got to love yourself in this game. There's no point being a miserable bodybuilder. No one likes bodybuilders already have a stigma about them, and then when you're miserable, please don't talk.
I mean, everybody got into bodybuilding. You know,
they're inspired by someone, right?
Well, a lot of people got into bodybuilding because of, you know, might be some internal issues, you know, whether it be, you know, wanting to overcome something or you know, there's
Then they got bullied.
body dysmorphia or whatever it might be, right? And yes, it can help show, you know, if you show that self-discipline, that can improve your confidence massively. But some people don't really grow out of that. Some people are in the stage where they're still in this hateful stage of themselves. And they don't like what they see. Even though they might look incredible, they're just always so hard on themselves. I really want people to get to the stage where you're at right now, where you go, yes, this looks great. But it doesn't mean that if you like what you see in the mirror, doesn't mean that you have to stop or go, yeah, that's enough.
You got to maintain it.
You just got to maintain it. You still can love the process of making the journey. Some people have this perception in their mind that I have to hate what I see in the mirror in order to drive me to make more progress. And yes, that can be a motivating factor.
I saw Arnie say that.
Where does it come from? Does it, it's not good.
Yeah.
You can still love what you see, love the process, and still want to be better. There's nothing wrong with that.
I always want to get better.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with where I'm at. That's a long, an hour answer to that question. Here's a great one. What's your thoughts on diet soda and prep?
Yeah, diet soda. It gets demonized quite a bit. I think everything in moderation. So some of the artificial sweeteners like sucralose and whatnot can cause a little stomach, can disrupt the stomach microbiome, if you want to say. It's a little bit of a hot topic and whatnot, but if you're slamming it down and you're experiencing bloating and digestive issues, then probably not a great idea. But if it's like a nice little treat for you and you're limited to a reasonable amount, then fine, so be it. You know, if it keeps you from eating a piece of cake.
You don't drink it, do you?
No. Well, actually, I sometimes have these energy drinks, right? And if I have too many, stomach feels a little bit bloated, not kind of great, because a lot of other things we have all these artificial sweeteners. If I was gonna pick something, I do prefer to use stevia for a sweetener. It's a natural sweetener. It's a lot better on your stomach. So you can, find some sodas and things like that sweetened with stevia. You're probably gonna still satisfy that sweet tooth, as well as some I've seen a lot of cool benefits from stevia. Even off, I've even seen a study where it shows some anti-cancer research on stevia and some improving in insulin sensitivity and like some cool stuff.
Wow. I don't drink them personally, but I did a while ago. I was drinking a lot of Coke Zero, no caffeine. Yeah. Just because it's like quench me at night. Yeah. And I have like a bit of popcorn and I'll just like try and fill some space up. But now I've just gone on the green tea. But my girlfriend has a Sunkist, no sugar, every day. She loves it. Yeah. I don't know enough about it if it's bad or not, but if it's going to help you with cravings, no calories during prep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe go for it. But would it give you a layer of fluff or something?
No, it's not going to put any fat on you whatsoever. Yeah. But if it affects your digestion and your ability to absorb other nutrients and things like that, then maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. Now, I've never done this one before, but actually, I skipped a question. So what are your top health supplements to take if someone is enhanced?
All right. So
This is not medical advice.
this is not medical advice, but as far as supplements are concerned, a lot of times what we're looking at is, if we look at blood work, if we look at, is something a little bit off? So if, for example, if somebody's finding their liver is off, elevated liver enzymes and things like that, we could look at things like, TUDCA and NAC. If we're finding that, we're seeing elevated hematocrit and hemoglobin levels, we could look at things like neverhome. If we're finding HDL, LDL all skewed out, we could look at things like citrus bergamot and fish oils. So it's one of those things where you don't necessarily have to be taking these things as a by default, but if your health markers are getting thrown off, then we look at, okay, what's the best tool to improve that, and we go from there.
And off topic, if someone is being coached by you, you will get them to do their blood work, and you analyze the blood work, and then if it's, from what I know, if something's out of your realm, you might pass it on to a professional.
Oh, most definitely. I'm not a
like
medical
Greg.
professional, and I've definitely seen things that have been off. And if it's a little minor thing, okay, let's see if we add this in, retest in 4 to 6 weeks.
Can we touch on how you saved my friend's life?
Yeah, we can. And we see that something might be a little bit off. We go, okay, we'll take this, that, and the other, retest. Cool, looks great. If not, then we say, you know what, take this to your GP, get a liver scan or whatever it might be, and go get an echocardiogram. Do these things because I don't want that on my head.
Guys, I've got a story that not many people know about. I have a friend called Jay Steet, had some issues with his health, got his blood work done, sent it to Scotty. Scotty reviewed it and picked out of his blood work that there might be an issue. He was correct. He ended up having an emergency operation, had to get a heart, is it someone's heart piece from a dead body put into his, like one of the valves in his heart or something. That's what ended up happening. I mean, to cut a long story short, can you explain it better than me? Is that putting you on the spot a bit?
Well, okay.
His pituitary gland.
Well, this particular case.
He won't mind you saying it.
All right. All right. Well, this
is that okay or?
Yeah, I guess. Well, this particular case, this gentleman had taken PEDs in the past, and his test levels just weren't coming up, and he'd seen doctors about it numerous times, and they just said, "Oh, give it some more time, give it some more time." And he said, "Can you look at my blood? It's like, what's going on here?" And I can't remember the markers exactly, but the test levels were, very low and whatnot. But then, I saw that, IGF levels were very, very high, and they think growth hormones. Well, I said, "Are you taking, GH and whatnot?" No, nothing. So I said, you may want to get your pituitary. You might get a CT scan on your pituitary. There may be a tumor there. Don't want to scare you, but get this done. And sure enough, there was. And the doctors hadn't picked up on that. He had numerous blood tests before. And
emergency operation.
Then they saw that, they saw this, but they also, in amongst doing all this stuff, they saw some things going on with his heart. So then they did some prompt surgery, and I'm not sure exactly what they
cut him open. They got a stent or something from a heart valve from some dead body and put it in his heart, and you saved his life. That's why he sent us that $400 gift voucher for dinner. That we still got to use, Jay.
But the bottom line is, I'm not I don't claim to be a medical professional.
No, but it's just a good case study.
And if I see things, and a lot of times people, unfortunately, doctors don't, look into things too in depth. And if I see something off, I push people to go back to the doctor and say, please look at this further, and really push them to get those scans, to get things done. And sometimes things can be fixed.
And I also want to say this, I've busted your balls so many times for friends of mine to read their blood work. It must have been a dozen times in the past year. I can name them, like my mentors. You've done it out of the love of your heart and helped them. And you've picked every single person. You said, look, your growth hormone's fake. Remember, it's fake. It says it's from Germany, but it's rubbish. You helped every single one of them. You gave them hours of your time, no charge. That's the type of person you are.
I like to help people.
And they're offering it, and you're like, nah, Johnny, I just want to help people because you love it so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it comes back to you in tenfold. You You just help a lot of people. Even this podcast, man, I know it helps people. It's really good. So I thought you probably don't know how much effort he helps people free of charge. Or advice in the gym, someone come up to you like, yeah, just do this. It's just, you love it. Generous with your time. Most people won't do that. They're always looking for pay me.
Yeah.
But you're very good like that. And
I want to help as many people as I possibly can.
This isn't planned. I just thought I'd let you know he's very good like that. And I appreciate what you do for my friends. It's really nice. So health supplements, we touched on that. This is a funny one. Not a funny one. What's your thoughts on the carnivore diet? Is that a keto diet, right? You're just eating protein and fats.
Pretty much. It's mainly a meat-based diet. And if somebody's going to go hardcore carnivore, they're doing a lot of organ meats as well. So they're doing like
liver, kidney, brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Testicles.
I don't know about that, but there's a lot of micronutrients in all these organ meats. Yeah. Sure. But there's like in liver and whatnot, heaps of micronutrients. So I don't really like specific diets where you're eliminating a lot of things, right? So if I had a choice between vegan and carnivore, I'd go carnivore because you're getting a lot more micronutrients, getting enough protein, so less nutritional deficiencies in that. Yeah. And somebody could probably get leaner on that, no question about it. Yes. But from a bodybuilding standpoint, you're not going to grow. You need carbs for repair, for glycogen, for, like if you really want to get a decent amount of muscle on you, you're not going to do it with carnivore. So, I prefer more, a balanced approach.
I think most people doing carnivore are probably looking to get lean.
Yeah. And it can work.
That definitely would be.
No question.
I've never tried it, so I guess.
And sometimes when people have some specific gut issues and whatnot, it can fix that up as a temporarily fix if they're getting, some bloating and some issues with,
Wouldn't you get sick of that though? Just eating meat like every meal, like I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Meat I like my yogurt at night, my oats in the morning.
Yeah.
I love my sweet potatoes.
Well, and some people feel better on it. Some people feel better in that.
They say they feel clarity, that ketosis, I guess. I will keep going. How do you work out with injury, Scott?
Work around them? Work around them for one thing. So if something's giving you pain, I definitely, if it's that kind of pain, don't push through that kind of pain.
You're dealing with them now. What about your shoulder?
My shoulder's giving me some grief. So
you're working around it?
Working around it the best I possibly can. I'm getting treatment on it. I'm seeing a number of different physios and whatnot.
You had 5 people look at you at the one time.
Yeah. I had people trying to sort it out, going, okay, looks like it's stemming from your neck. It looks like it could be a nerve, so on and so forth. So, getting. But
at least you're not ignoring it, and you're going to see specialists.
No, exactly.
You're not self-diagnosing on these injuries. You're seeing specialists.
Yeah.
Straight away. Even when I did my quad the other day, go see Mina.
Yeah.
Booked in the time to see Mina.
See somebody straight away.
Straight away. Go see a professional.
And don't try to push through that kind of pain.
No.
Because that kind of pain is telling you something. Like, especially even like when somebody's getting some tendon issues in there, if you once you get things inflamed and you still keep pushing through it, they actually get worse. So
these tendons gave me a lot of issues for quite a while. They're finally healed. I had to back off, use a BPC 157, use a TB 500, really limit my training, use the Versa grips. I was wise about it. Now I can train.
And now, like I'll say, hey, do you want to do, this movement? You're like, nah. Better not. And I don't push it. I'm like, absolutely, don't do it. You do this instead. I'm going to do this. We might do different movements.
The other day? I said, not tendon.
That's smart.
No. I'm not pushing through. Yeah.
Exactly. And there are times where, if you see a physio or whatnot, they might recommend doing certain exercises. And okay, we're going to keep the pain, let's say a 4 out of 10, right?
Exactly.
Just to, get some blood flow in there and help to facilitate the healing process, but not exacerbate the injury.
And if you see a specialist, stick to the plan and the rehab they give you. Just booking in a specialist and going isn't fixing the problem.
No,
You got to
go. The one-off is not going to do it.
Or even if you get a coach, just because you've paid the coach $5,000 for a couple of months, that's just you haven't won because you've just paid. You got to actually apply yourself and follow. You have to apply yourself. If you want the results with anything, you have to muster up the discipline and say to yourself, I want to change. You have to make the changes. Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Yeah, I'm doing all the little exercises. I hate them. They're boring.
Yeah, they're annoying. Yeah, but you have to do it.
I have to do them if I want to be better.
You have to have the discipline. Bodybuilding is discipline. And bloody hell, I love it. Thank God, because I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't enjoy this so much. How did we first meet? First impressions? Well, Adult Matchmaker was really good. I saw this flexing body. I'm like, oh, geez, that's so hot. Wow, black and white photos. And then I sent you those feet pics.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I love
those feet pics.
the feet pics.
Yeah, I'm really into the feet. So, yeah, you still send it to me in the shower.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and your feet are up there like that.
Yeah, put the soap between my toes. You love it.
I'll tell you how we met. So we touched on it before, but quickly, what website was it?
No, we met in person at the sub shop.
I'd seen you around for years and years, and then when did we properly actually meet? Maybe I saw you at an expo once or twice.
Yep.
You're working for some
Well,
big
I remember,
brands.
there was a brand that I
Who was
represented.
it, like Ultimate Nutrition maybe?
That was Nutribolics, actually.
Nutribolics, yeah.
And then we're talking about
I really
doing
thought
some
you were
brand,
so cool.
you utilizing you as a brand ambassador at the time.
Yes, yeah.
And I think at that point you were like, nah, I'm going off socials.
I think that's when I really just started to hit rock bottom.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm off social
and then
media.
you just disappeared.
I disappeared. Yeah. Came back years later.
Like, what happened to him? He had so much potential.
Do you know what I liked about you? When I saw you, you always dressed really cool. And you really had a swag about you. Just always dressed well, tight shirt, big arms, always dressed so well and held yourself so well. I'm like, this guy's really cool.
dressed
And
like
then
a
at least Triple A, Elise or someone would say, Scotty, he's just a cool guy. Everyone would speak so highly of you. But fuck, I want that guy to coach me. And then that's how we initially met. Then I reached out for coaching and we just went from there.
Yeah.
And now we're training together.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes, lucky me. All right, we'll keep going through because we're running out a bit of time. But what's more effective? This is a great question. So what is more effective? And this might relate to you too. Is it meal plans or macro tracking? What is more effective? Is it case different for every person?
Definitely. So first of all, we have to look at, what a person's goals are. And then, we set up, well, for example, let's say somebody wants to, get lean or whatnot. We set up their targets. So we look at, okay, how many calories do they need to eat? Then we look at, okay, how many macros would that break down to? How much protein, carbs, and fats to meet those calories?
Macros and calories are sort of all in one though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, there's 4 calories for every gram of protein, carbs, and there's 9 calories for every gram of fat. So we look at, okay, if I'm having X amount of protein, X amount of carbs, X amount of fats, that equals X amount of calories. That's your macros. And then we decide, okay, what is going to make that up? Now, I like to educate people on how to learn how to move different foods in and out so they're not having to eat the same thing all the time. A lot of times what I'll do for people is
me that early.
I'll do a sample meal plan for somebody. So I'll say, okay, if we're having, let's say, 2,500 calories, right, and it's 250 grams of protein, X amount of carbs, X amount of fats, what would that look like? And I'll walk through with it, and I'll say, okay, well, the breakfast, this might look like blah, 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 and we go through a full day of eating. But I want to get them to the state where they can go, okay, well, instead of,
turkey breast,
instead of turkey, I'm going to have, extra lean minced beef or kangaroo or,
pork or fish.
Exactly. So, or potatoes or rice or whatever it might be to make up those particular macros. Now, there comes a time where, like, let's say it's the last 6 weeks of bodybuilding prep. I don't want somebody to have to be thinking about getting too creative with their foods and, I'm going to make this mock, Big Mac that's got, 300 calories and blah, blah, like, come on, like, just stick with the same foods. When you're on low food, everything's going to taste amazing, right? Everything's going to taste really good when you're on.
When you're starving?
When you're starving, you put a little salt and barbecue sauce, it's going to taste amazing. So a lot of times with those last few weeks, we just stick to the same foods. Just make it easy. Don't have to think about it. And also a big factor is digestion and quality of foods too as well. So I don't like if it fits your macros and leave somebody completely wide open, because then a lot of times people make, they're eating protein bars, which ship form of protein. They're eating, lollies for the carbs. They're, doing these things. Okay, yeah. And you know what? They're still going to see somewhat, okay results because they're still getting the requirements they need.
Yeah, but get better results.
You're going to get better results if you got whole foods, decent amount of micronutrients, better digestion, and better energy, better recovery, all that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit of person dependent. So this is why, when I start with somebody, I generally ask them, do you prefer to be told exactly what to do? as far as foods go, or do you prefer to have that? And when I do the people's check-ins, I look at their food. If they're following a macro target, I look and see what choices have they made. Okay, I see having, this food, you're not getting enough protein here, what, how they balance it out, how's digestion going? Because that's another question to ask, how's your digestion? So if something's off, I can usually troubleshoot and say, okay, this is what's probably causing it. And go, okay, well, why don't we try replacing this with that and see how you feel and go from that. So it's really, there's not it's a person dependent situation.
What do you find most people tend to do? Is a bit of a mixture? Because
it's a pretty big mixture.
Go.
It's a pretty big mixture.
Yeah.
But I like to get people to the stage where they are
Knowing.
able to, if I can give them some targets to say, we're going to have this much protein, carbs, fats, we're going to divide it over, 4 or 5 meals or whatever it might be. I like to get them to the stage where they feel confident to make the right choices to be in there. Because if they're just following a meal plan,
Yeah.
a lot of times they might get sick of it, or they go, oh, well, I didn't have that food, so they end up eating shit if they don't have their set meals. So I want to be able to teach them how to make the best choices when they go out to eat, how to make the best choices if they're at their, in-laws' place or whatever it might be, so they can still stay on plan.
Preset some discipline in their mind.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. And then I've, people come to me from other coaches and say, oh, my coach had me on this meal plan. They had me eating this, and this. I hated it, right? But, there's no magic foods out there. So if you hate fish, right, you don't have to eat it. Like, that's it. But, like, you don't have to, this is why I don't like to set people up with a meal plan with foods I like. I like to talk to people about, okay, what are the foods that you enjoy? What are the foods that digest well for you? What do you feel good on? And then work amongst that, not just, I'm pretty boring. I just eat,
One thing good about you though is because sometimes on my Instagram stories I put up my groceries.
Yeah.
You say, oh, you could change that to that, or that's not what I'm only getting all the wild caught now salmon because there's no wild caught salmon in Australia. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's all farmed. Yeah.
It's all farmed.
Yeah.
So they're all eating pellets, which is not the worst thing, but
No.
I'd rather eat some wild caught salmon, the salmon at the Atlantic Ocean, swimming around eating other little fish and microbialisms or whatever it is, right? That's going to be better for you.
There's a better fat profile. So the omega-3 fats are a better quality.
So now I don't eat any salmon, but fresh caught Atlantic. What's it called? What's the salmon called? It's a different type of salmon. It's lower fat. But that's because of you.
All right, cool.
That's because you taught it to me. Every time you pick my shopping list apart, I go, that turkey, that's not breast, that's just turkey mince. You could go breast, it's like leaner fat. Do you remember that? I got it from Aldi.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, he's right. Why am I fucking eating turkey mince, which I could get a lower fat option and then have some other better fats, or you know what I mean? That is where you've picked me apart for so many times. I'm like, he's right. I'll do it. Or don't have Nutri-Grain. Bad on digestion. Go rice bubbles. You know how many times you said that little things like that to me? Or do this or do
and
that.
You feel better for it.
Oh, it's better. You picked every time. I got digestion. What are you eating? Oh, that's it. Fixed it. Done. One day gone.
Yeah.
Scotty, I'm gassy. I've like too many grains or whatever it is. Fixed it. That's why I keep progressing, because I ask you and you're like, have you done this? I'm like, nah. He goes, yeah. Or I got that little dog roller thing.
Oh, the DMSO?
I didn't know what that was. He goes, just buy this, rub it on. It's for dogs. I'm like, okay, bang, fixed. Good coach, I'll tell you this. I'm telling you, no one knows all this shit but you. It's really
life experience too,
It's good.
Being old.
No, I've drained your brain too many times. I feel bad.
No, and I like people asking questions, because if there's something I don't know, I'll look it up, or if, there's people that I work with that are smarter than me.
But I ask you other questions like, hey, someone owes me $9,000. You're like, what should I do? He's like, okay. Like, even those questions I've asked you, remember?
Because I made the mistakes.
Don't lend it out in the first place. We'll keep going. We run out of time, but we got a bit more time anyway, right? Okay, this is a great question. What's the best ways to keep your blood pressure in good, healthy range?
Okay, if somebody's using PEDs, they might be using too much. This is often what I see, with blood pressure issues, is people driving their performance enhancing products up too high and ending up with blood pressure issues. And especially when somebody's in the off season, they're eating a lot of food and they're and blood pressure is starting to rise. So one thing, stay leaner, control your PEDs, do your cardio, And there are times natural health supplements, or we could look at, there are things that you can get prescribed like ACE inhibitors or, ARBs,
What's an ARB?
angiotensin receptor blocker, which, a lot of these PEDs will increase angiotensin, and this will help facilitate that. So
See, I don't even know this.
look, I see a cardiologist, and I actually get this stuff prescribed to keep me at a good level.
You still getting that penis reduction?
Oh yeah.
Not yet, yeah. So I've got to get that enlargement. Fuck, still waiting. There's a waiting list. I'm gonna fly through this. I'm just trying to have a bit of fun. Is it a good idea to keep less food sources or the same food sources in all your meals while gaining?
Okay, so if you're in a growth phase,
so
great.
less food or more, or wait, it says, is it a good idea to keep less food sources or same food sources in all meals while gaining? Are they trying to say should you have a mixture of different variety of foods in a gaining
I think
phase?
you're gonna get. I like to have a variety of food.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have especially if you're having different meat sources, you're gonna have, different amino acid profiles. We have seen that if somebody's eating the same, food, like they're eating tons and tons of chicken or eggs, can develop food intolerances to product that they're eating so
Really?
much of. They can develop, allergens too. I've seen people do that with too much eggs or too much chicken. They can develop a little bit of intolerances to those. So I like to see a variety there. I like to see a variety of micronutrients and things like that. But, do what you feel like you can stick with the most and what you can track the best. That's probably, going to be the best advice.
I try to mix it up a little bit because I get bored. So.
You get you prepare a lot of the same meals for the whole day, but there's a lot of variety in those meals. There's a lot of micronutrients in those, and a lot of different, fruits and vegetables and different meat sources and whatnot. And your digestion and everything's going really well.
I poo a lot.
Great.
Jimmy, I already taken 2 shits today. It's like fucking 10 a.m. Is that normal?
Well, when you're eating a lot of food, like some people say, they go on, they're in a big deficit. And they're like, I'm not going to the toilet much, right?
Shit all the time.
You think about what goes in must come out.
Too much
at some stage.
Yeah.
So
I've had 2 massive meals already today. Yeah. But I guess it's flowing, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm
you're
not
eating a
bogged
lot
up.
of fiber.
I'm not bogged up.
You're moving well.
It's all like chocolate machine. Bang. All right. So, okay. Is it?
And this is something you can track too. There's something called the Bristol Stool Scale, where you can track your poos. That's something you do in the chronometer, and you can see how your poos are going. That's a great indication of health. Like you shouldn't be
I've
having.
never had constipation.
Yeah, you shouldn't be constipated. You shouldn't be bloated.
I wouldn't
you shouldn't
even know
have
what that feels like.
watery poo. You shouldn't have blood in your stool. You shouldn't have mucus.
Yeah.
You should have nice.
You got blood sometimes after you have a big night.
Yeah. No, I used to have some intestinal issues for 20 years. I had something called ulcerative colitis, and I would have,
What's that caused by? Do you know? Or genetics?
It's a genetic, thing. It's an autoimmune thing, but through not only a bit of a healing, it's a whole nother story, and as well as nutritional implementations. I've had no issues for probably 15 years. So 0 medication, 0 anything. So
off topic. If you know how we push a bit, I'm pushing a bit more food now. Is that? It can't be good for you to eat that much food. Like I'm eating quite a bit of food now. Like really, it's got to age you, right? Like shouldn't we just have
to some
3
degree,
meals a day?
I mean, bodybuilding
Like
is not.
We're not. This is not normal.
No.
Like my meals are big.
Yeah.
Big meals. I eat a lot. If you saw how much I ate in a day, it's probably a lot of volume too. Because I'm not eating jasmine. It's all basmati or.
Yeah. For longevity, they look.
Maybe I won't do this for too much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unsustainable. I'm thinking of like when I get a bit older, but I'm addicted.
Well, I always think that too as well. I thought, when I get over 40, right? I'll, maybe
40,
do more yoga and be on a real low calorie diet and
just
go
have
into cardio and this, that, and the other. And okay, well that didn't happen. And then maybe when I'm over 50, I'll do that. No, well that didn't happen. What the fuck?
It's what you love.
Yeah.
Interesting one. Because I might just go do ballet after I'm 40. So I'm just cruise the body around, just gets into salsa dancing. Okay. What physique did you admire when coming up in bodybuilding?
Oh yeah. So that was back in the 90s, and I remember seeing Lee Labrada on the magazines and Kevin Levrone and these guys, man. I was very, very inspired by those guys. And then I saw Dorian Yates. I went to a seminar with Dorian Yates.
You saw him in person?
Yeah, saw him in person in 92. It was the year he won his first
I was
Olympia.
3 years old, bro. 92.
Yeah, I got certified as a trainer in '92, man.
Wow,
And
that's
I
how long
went
you've
to
been doing this for.
a
Yeah.
muscle camp, and
That's experience.
and Dorian was there. He was, he was going through demonstrating the exercises.
Was he big then?
Oh, he won the Olympia that year.
He won that year.
He won that year.
92, okay.
92. And they said, one person asked, who's
Wow.
going to win the next Olympia?
What did he say? Was that his first one?
Yeah, he goes, some blonde guy from England.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dorian
he
put in the
did.
work.
He did. I was just like blown away by him. Like, he was
Dorian and
one of the
Ronnie,
first pros I actually saw, and he was this monster.
it's different in person, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember I saw Phil Heath for the first time and I thought, I got a photo with him and I was flexing. He's like,
Yeah.
at my arms, like, I'll bring it up maybe. But that was when he was really humble back then.
Yeah.
And then he started doing the movies, but he was just acting, I guess.
Yeah.
My biggest inspirations for bodybuilding when I started was Ronnie. I printed his photos up and had them on my wall when I was 15 in the garage, and I black and white just printed up A4. And then Greg Plitt
Oh, yeah.
I loved Greg Plitt. I loved his mindset. I would sit in my bedroom on my computer, watch Greg Plitt videos about how to be a fitness model, and once you get the body, it's about getting out there and putting yourself out there and being likable and putting in more work and being dedicated. And I really, my whole mantra is based on Greg Plitt. Rest in peace. I loved him. I loved Greg Plitt so much. There was a guy called Rob Riches. I really looked up to Rob Riches too. I just wish he replied to my messages because I messaged him, but he never replied. That's all right. And then Ziz came along, and I was really inspired by Ziz. I just loved his attitude, how cool he was. He didn't give a fuck. Ziz and Chesty as well. I loved. So Ziz, Chesty, Greg Plitt, Rob Riches, Ronnie Coleman were my biggest guys I looked up to. And then moving on after that, current people that I look up to now in the bodybuilding scene. Oh, geez, I don't really know if there's anyone. Oh, I really like the current Mr. Olympia. What's his name?
Derek Lunsford?
Yeah, Derek Lunsford. I watch his YouTube videos sometime when I'm just having yoga at night. I just like how he goes about things. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's not arrogant. He's himself. He's a family guy.
He's a good representative, 100%.
He's a great representation of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Doesn't talk down about anyone. He's got extreme humility, and he's very likable. And and I'm watching a bit of Sadiq Hadsavic's YouTube stuff lately.
Oh, yeah.
Sadiq is so cool. He's cool. So, but Derek's on another level of like coolness, but Sadiq's still doing his thing. He's really great too. So, and then I look up to you, now, because you teach me a lot. Yeah. They're all the questions, bro. Do you want to touch on a few other things too? Because I can talk on a couple random things. We can make some mad reels out of it. Really.
Let's see. I'm excited for Neverhome store.
Oh yeah, great. I'm glad you asked. So
What's
if you
going on
didn't
there?
know, yeah. So the story is, I asked Harry to be my business partner, and he owns nearly half of the company now. So I took 10 years to build it up, and I said to myself, all right, I want this to be big. I need to think outside the box. Life is a game. I want to like win this game. I can't follow the rules here. I need to be strategic about this, because if it kept going the way I was going, it probably wasn't going to get there, like realistically, unless I had some big backing financially.
Yeah.
So I got an investor on board called Pankaj Goyal, extremely successful man in his own right. He's had so many adversities in life. He went through hell. He was washing dishes, driving taxis. Now to have over $1 billion worth of property to his name is a lot. That's a lot. And we became friends, and he took over half my company as a partner. Now in that process, I told him I want to open retail. He goes, easy. I'm like, what? Well, we can do our first shop in Brighton. I've just bought a place in Brighton for $4 million, 10 station walk near the beach. And I'm putting my finance company upstairs because he does finance, development, land banking. And I was going to have a personal gym downstairs, but you can make it a retail store. Great location. There's a train station in front of it near the beach. Anyone can come from Melbourne, like kids all over town, and we'll fit it out. And we'll fit it out with Martin Frederick, the guy who designed my house. So he's got a $25 million house we're selling with Matthew Pilios. He actually asked me to sell the house, and I said no because I didn't want to. He asked me, I had the listing. I said, give it to someone else. We'll find an agent. I need to focus my time on Neverhome. That was a big $100,000 commission, right? Big. I said no to it. No thanks. I need to focus.
Yeah.
It's going to take too much of my time away from the brand. And yeah, $100,000 is a lot of money right now, but I want to get this. I need to focus on this, and that's going to take too much of my time up. And plus, if I didn't sell it, like I wanted to make it someone else's problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So cut a long story short, there's a shop being built there, first retail store, probably open later in this year. I've started to draw plans with it now. I've got a few people helping me out. And the plan is to put one of these bad boys there. So sorry, Pivotal. Probably won't be using your podcast studio anymore. We'll have our own. The plan is to have a backdrop to do photo shoots at the store, have the clothes on sale. I'll probably put the stock there, because there's enough room to hold the stock there. And then people can come and actually buy the clothes.
Buy the clothes. You have a good backdrop, good lighting.
Try it on.
Maybe take some pics.
I don't know what we're going to do yet. But that's exciting. And I thank God, because I think to myself, geez, oh my God, thank God I made that good move. It's all because of God, because He kept giving me, I keep praying for wisdom every day.
Yeah.
And I just kept showing Harry how hard I work. And he offered to take me to Bali for my birthday. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago. I said, no, I just want to work.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll just want to work on the business. He goes, come on, I'll pay for it for you. Let's go have some fun. You've been working hard. You deserve it. I said, no. I need to work on the brand right now, especially because the stock's coming in. And I wanted to show him, like, I'm not taking it for granted. And that's why I put in 50% of the money still for all the stock. I need it to hurt me. You know, so I haven't sent him an invoice for a while for the business because I'm putting my money into all the commissions I'm making, my savings. Because when you spend your own money, you're definitely wiser with it too. So I don't want to waste $1 on anything unnecessary with the business. Be a really smart business owner, because I made too many mistakes. And get this going to a rate, because I want this to be the biggest brand I can possibly make it. I got big, crazy goals with it. I'm going to keep trying. I don't care how long it'll take me, but I want to do it fast because the years are passing us by.
We have so many days on this planet.
Yeah, like why the fuck not? So I think if anyone's got to do it, it's probably him and me and the teams we build around us. But in answering your question, the store will be built. Once it's there, I hope you can come down and check it out. I hope you have fun, like the clothes that we sell. And I really just kept chasing my goal, you know. Yeah. And the journey is quite fun. So I'm still in shock. I'm very grateful.
That's exciting.
Very grateful. What else can we talk about? We've got a couple more time for a little bit more.
I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing right now off
yes.
the back end. So
thank you. Tell us about the website.
Yeah. So I'm working on an educational platform. And what this is it's going to be me giving as much information as I can in, I guess, short to medium length videos on every topic you could possibly think of. So 30 years of experience extracted from my brain into this platform. So everything from meal prep to, PEDs, growth hormone, insulin, you name it.
Even okay.
Yeah, I'm going in because, I get a little reluctant to talk about this on social media because
some things we can't talk about.
I want to make this in this platform so it's a little bit more free, free to express, these different ideas. I've even gone into the grocery store, took a videographer to the grocery store, did a shop with him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Which foods are going to be, better choices than others, how to read ingredients, all this kind of stuff.
Oh, I want to see that.
So, that's going to be all on the platform. And
I didn't sign it up.
And then there's going to be, it's a forum within the platform where I'm going to be on there daily answering questions. We'll be doing weekly Q&As within there, and I'll probably do a live Zoom call once every, I'm not sure, frequency.
So you're building community.
Yeah, exactly, where I'm going to be answering people's questions within there. And then
we should link it up with Neverhome.
Most definitely.
Because everyone, we'll think of something. We can maybe run it through my website too. So it's like you can have Neverhome, then your coaching, They can buy the clothes, and then maybe if they hit a certain amount of clothes, they could get a discount on your coach. I don't know. That's a good idea.
Love to. But this is,
got a big
this is
database.
how I can, I think, okay, well, with the coaching that I do right now,
Yeah.
pretty capped. I don't have the ability to bring on.
That's why I came up with this, because you can't really.
I can't bring on. I can only bring on so many people.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
So, and it's me, helping as many people as I possibly can. And either I can't help somebody because of time, or they might not be able to afford my coaching, which is understandable. And then we go, all right, well, how can I get this information out to more people? And this is going to be very affordable.
I've got 5,000 emails on my database. I can
brilliant.
email everyone that when it's ready.
Yeah.
I'll put it on next Tuesday's email. Coming soon. With the stock.
Yeah. That'd be brilliant.
It's a good idea.
So yeah, and then I'm going to constantly so it's going to be a subscription basis. And what I'm going to do is constantly be updating this every week, more videos, more information, and it's going to be driven based on what people want. So, I've got, I think, about 30 videos that I've filmed already.
Wow.
That are all ready to go. And then from there, it's going to be, okay, what are people asking about? What's the most asked questions? And I'm going to go into depth on those asked questions.
You can film us training as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do some training content in. I'll be your model.
Yeah.
I'll show them
We'll go into whatever somebody really needs help with. Yeah, I'm excited.
We should have a little section that's like how to grow the quads.
Yeah.
And we'll show them what we really get up to in there.
Yeah.
Take
through
them
full
through- take
workouts.
them
Whereas,
through.
with Instagram and YouTube.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sometimes, we just throw little snippets, 30 seconds here, 15 seconds here.
No, it's
So
more
somebody
than that.
might want to see a little bit more in depth, and they have the option to watch these things.
Because we're doing those training camps, but
Yeah.
we can only have 5, 6 people
Yeah.
there at a time. It's otherwise too many. You should have like a really in-depth following of what we do.
Yeah,
Because if once they learn, the legs will grow.
most definitely.
I know I can make anyone's legs grow.
Yeah.
I know I can.
And sometimes it's just like, for example, the helping the other day
On the
on the tempo, right? You just fix somebody's tempo up.
Yeah,
And they're going to get a lot out of that. And if they can progress using that tempo.
It's lowering the weight slowly is hard.
Yeah.
Muscles doing different things.
And then exploding, keeping that tension in it.
and pausing at the bottom.
Yeah.
And even the 3-second pause.
Yeah.
It kills you. That's exciting. We're both working on things.
Yeah.
And we encourage each other a lot too. So we keep pushing each other.
Because, even with some of these things like, this and, self-doubt comes into play. Is this the right thing? Is this, am I doing, is this the direction I want to go? But, we've got to keep moving forward. Whatever you're focusing on, just keep put one foot in front of the other. And this is, as humans, we want progression. As humans, this is why we go to the gym. This is why we do what we do, is because we want to be better. If we're going the same, this hamster on a wheel, it just doesn't make life as enjoyable. So whatever you can do to progress forward, whether it be, with your family or with your, physique or with your, try to just get that little bit better every day. And that gives us satisfaction. That gives us joy is to make that progress.
Really well said. Really well said. I think we'll finish it there. That was beautiful. It's been a while since we've done one. Let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll do some more. Put your questions in. Scotty's Instagram, @ScottSlayman. Instagram, @ScottSlayman. Mine's Johnny Qna.
Yeah.
Joe, what's the website going to be? Should you mention that now?
It will be muscleworkshop.com.au.
.com.au. Yes, sweet.
Yeah.
And neverhome.com. Peace.
Thank you.